Hello, citizens of McPherson County. Hope all is well with you. This video is based on has to deal with the county commissioner meeting on 10 March, and there's going to be some more that I'm going to be discussing. It's primarily not going to be about the agenda itself. Truthfully, I had not planned on attending the meeting because the agenda, which I have here, seemed pretty straightforward and mundane, and I didn't believe that it required citizens to babysit them. I mean, they discussed again the Drainage Commission, bid openings for aggregate and oil. Highway Department talking again about equipment and surplus equipment. There was a zoning update, something to do with liquid manure pumping. Director of Equalization, review of county-owned property. More courthouse maintenance issues. Auditor had there was discussion about an annual report, 2025 annual report. Sheriff Dave Ackerman stood up and was discussing about security cameras for the courthouse. And then they were talking about getting certain days off for employees. Looks like Treasurer's Office to close on Monday, March 23rd. Motion to grant Good Friday, April 3rd, and Easter Monday, April 6th as holiday days, as approved by the governor. So there really wasn't too much in here that I was really concerned about, that I couldn't watch the videos afterwards. But through the grapevine, I was informed that there was going to be some people showing up to make some comments, and the comments were going to be about the board in general, or about Commissioner Newharth. And so that perked my interest, and so I decided to go because I wanted to hear these comments. The room was packed, which I was very happy to see. There were some personal comments that were made. One was by Ken Schaefer, who the county, from what I understand, has screwed up an area of his on 110th Street, and who also came onto his property and illegally removed a rock pile of his to fix the area or not fix the area. If I remember correctly, 2, 3, 4 meetings back, there was discussion about the 110th Street issue, and the board went into executive session to discuss it. If that is correct, then they cannot go into executive session to talk about that. That does not fit the criteria for executive session. So this is something to keep an eye on to see what's going to happen with it. There was also a comment made by Debbie Davis, a Long Lake citizen who's having issues with the city council. And then we received a final comment from Wendy Brockle, and I apologize if I pronounced that name wrong, the Eureka City Mayor, which was very interesting. And so I'm going to play excerpts of the video. First, I'm going to start off with, so bear with me, technology. The first will be of Ken Schaefer commenting, and then I'm going to jump it over to the mayor. And I'm going to be stopping, when I get to the mayor, I'm going to be stopping let's just say I'm going to stop the video when I start with Ken, because there's something that I think is very interesting that I want to point out if you don't notice it when you watch the video yourself. And then after, I will make some comments. So let me begin here. Let me get this over to you. Okay. And so this will be Ken Schaefer starting his comment.
Yeah.
State your name. You state your name. I guess I said your name, so.
Ken Schaefer.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been over a year on Highway or Street 110.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right here. I want to point out something that I noticed. Keep an eye, as you're listening to the video, keep an eye on our state's attorney, Austin Huffman.
On that road repair and the drainage problem I had. So far, I've had over 30 acres of ground restored. Crop was flooded out. The south side of the road, because the water was diverted to the east, it cut a channel over 6 feet deep across that field and flooded the whole field of brand new alfalfa that I've never got to take a fresh cutting of, other than the nurse crop. You come on my property unannounced. You took my property without any legal right. I just want to know where this is going to end, because if this is the way we take care of our laws in McPherson County, I guess we're going to start writing them the same as they do in California, where you don't prosecute anybody until it's over a certain amount. So I just want to know where you people are headed with this. Thank you.
Okay, so if you were watching Austin Huffman there, he didn't seem too concerned about what Ken Schaefer had to say. So now I'm going to go to the mayor of Eureka, Mayor Brockle, and play what she had to say. Again, keep an eye on Mr. Huffman and listen closely to what the mayor has to say. It is a very generalized comment. There's a lot of hidden connotations in it. But yeah, let's go ahead and play that.
Okay, Wendy Brockle.
Hi, Wendy Brockle. Good morning, everybody. The statement that I'm about to read has well over 100 signatures in support of this signature from the people throughout the county, not just Eureka, Long Lake, or Viola. We stand before you today to express our firm and unwavering support for our current county commission. You have not only the authority but the responsibility to protect the citizens of this county from policies, actions, and disruptions that threaten harm to our shared beliefs, values, and way of life. As the elected body closest to the daily operations of this county, you are entrusted with safeguarding our communities from harmful agendas, unnecessary litigations, and conduct that undermines effective governance. Leadership requires courage, and we expect that from our elected officials to act decisively in the best interest of McPherson County, not in response to the loud demands of a select few. We commend your commitment to sound, principled policies that serve the border good of the county. We urge you to continue to stand firm in your leadership, to uphold standards of doctrine, and allow this commission to conduct the people's business effectively and respectfully. In conclusion, we echo the words of Senator Chris McDaniel. There is a difference between passionate dissent and childish interruption. One persuades, the other just makes a scene. We believe the time has come to restore balance, order, and respect to these proceedings. The squeaky wheel has received more than its share of attention. It is now time for steady, responsible leadership to prevail. You have our full support as you continue to serve with integrity and resolve. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thanks.
We'll move on to our, I guess, we'll call it, Glenn.
He's right behind us, yeah.
Sorry. You should sit here.
Mark,
Yes.
I thought I put my name down and say something. I did not. I was the second one to sign it.
You didn't put down for public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry, I guess I marked the wrong one.
Okay, we'll move on to bid opening. We have the hot mix is 1505 SSH and M70 prime oil. Okay, get a knife. Thanks. This is from Gabriel. Okay.
Okay, so I'm stopping it here. First of all, did you notice the attention that Mr. Huffman was giving to the mayor? He gave her his full and undivided attention when she was making comment. Excuse me, for Ken Schaefer, he did not. In fact, he does not give his full and undivided attention when anybody is commenting in this forum. Now, do you notice that he's going to this clipboard? This clipboard is a clipboard that people sign up for when they want to comment. Notice that he is checking it out to make sure that Chairman Opp knows what he's talking about.
Okay, McPherson County Board of Commissioners, asphalt material supply letting. We submit the following asphalt. All right. 1.5 hours are allowed for the unloading. Emerge $160 per hour after one.
Okay, that's all I need to play. Mr. Hoffman had some vested interest in the comments that were made or were about to be made, from what I can gather. And it appears that he may be a little, a little distraught because what happened failed. As far as I'm concerned, it failed. And then as you see, after the individual that wanted to make comment was not allowed to, I believe that was ex-Commissioner Coons was sitting on the very end there. If the other people that left, I don't know, but it looked like ex-Commissioner Coons was sitting there. They all got up and left. Now, the question is whether they should have been allowed to comment. That is a good question, but that is Chairman Opp's call. And he could have gone either way. He could have allowed them to speak, or he could have done what he did. I'm almost certain that he is, or he will be, or has caught a whole lot of flack about his decision on that one. Wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now. But, again, it's a decision that he had to make. whether he made the right one or not is in the eyes of the beholder. So let's go to the mayor. I did notice that if the mayor, she said that she had well over 100 signatures that she got throughout the county. If generally when you go out and get signatures, you pretty much know the exact amount or count that you have when you get these signatures, but she said she has well over 100 signatures. I don't know if that means 150, 101, 102, don't know. I also wonder why the signatures were not, or the list of names was not left with the commissioners, especially if she said these people were from the throughout the country, or the county, excuse me. I would think that would be important. Something important for the commissioners to see is who signed this document, but she did not do that. Now, I did reach out after the next day, after the meeting on the 11th. I did reach out to the mayor, telling her I did it via email. I called the finance officer. The finance officer would not give me her phone number, and she did give me the email address, which is the generic email address for the whole office there. So I did reach out to the mayor, telling her that I was interested in her comment and that I would like to meet with her and any or all of the 100 people that signed this document that she referenced. I like I said, I made initial contact on the 10th, and then directed my main email to her after I contacted the finance officer on the 12th. And I also left my phone number as well. As of today, which is March 16th, she has not reached out to me. I'm skeptical as to whether she will, which would be a shame if she didn't, because again, I'm extending an olive branch to her and to those other citizens, and hopefully she will, because I'm interested. Like I said, that was a very generic comment. There was innuendos within it, and so I'm interested to see where she's coming from on this. We'll see if she contacts me. Okay, so with that, here's some other thoughts. Again, I say stuff on my videos that people want to say and don't, because they're in fear of reprisal, or it's just not their way of expressing themselves. Either way, that's fine. I'll do it. And I'm going to start out this way. As long as I remember growing up in the town of Long Lake, there has always been a riff between Leola and Eureka for whatever reason. Whatever reason. I don't know if it goes all the way back to the history of the county seat and how that transpired, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And it's not just been rivalries between sports programs. It's been downright dissent. The mayor talks about childishness. I think that's childish. After being away from McPherson County for 40 years, I thought maybe that when I got back that this would have changed, but I see that it has not. As I've said in one of my other videos, the reason why I'm running for commissioner is that I want to unite all of the people in this county, and this type of dissension needs to come to an end. We've got too much stuff going on in this country. We've got too much stuff going on in this state. We've got a little bit of stuff going on in the county. It's people need to unite and fight these issues within the state and the country and the little bit that's in the county. So there are some keywords or phrases that I picked up on that have me questioning the mayor's comments. One of them is where she said that her and the people that signed this document were giving the commissioners board firm and unwavering support. So she is telling the commissioners, this is what I get out of it, this is my thoughts. So what she's telling the commissioners is that no matter what you do, we will give you our support. That's what I got out of the comment. Now, let me back up a little bit, and I will say that she has a First Amendment right to express her comments. I'm not going to take that away. My purpose of this video is just to analyze the comments and point out some things that I noticed. Then she quoted Chris McDaniel, who I looked him up. I believe he's a Republican senator from the state of Kentucky. And she took a quote from him that says, there is a difference between dissent and childish interruptions. One persuades, the other just makes a scene. That was interesting. And then the other comment phrase that stuck out to me, or quote, was, the squeaky wheel has received more of its share of attention. So before I dive into those, I do have these questions that just popped into the head. What prompted the mayor to make this comment now? Was it because I'm running for county commissioner to replace Commissioner Newharth? Or was it what Jody Waltman revealed publicly in the rude conversation that she had with Mr. Newharth? This is a question I have for her. I can only assume that the squeaky wheel is that group that have been opposing the commissioners on various issues. If so, the squeaky wheel, the group, has been discussing these issues extensively now for approximately 2 years. And so my question would be, why now? Why make this comment now? After 2 years of dissension and potentially childish interruptions. The litigation part that was mentioned in there, I don't know of anybody that has taken the county to court. I have submitted letters to the Attorney General's office and the Department of Justice, but I don't recall anybody taking the county commissioners to court. This is a concern to me if the mayor, Mr. Huffman, Mr. Coons, and Mr. Newharth, along with anyone else, misinforms the public, then tries to make some sense as to the continued dissent between towns. To me, they are the fuel that keeps being thrown on this fire of dissension. And it is, in my opinion, that their rhetoric is very unhealthy for the county. I've been told, I've been told by some Eureka residents that someone was going to put their name in for Commissioner Kuhn's position when he resigned, and that person was informed by members of the public that if they did that, they would no longer conduct business at their establishment. What does that tell you, folks? Is this what we've come to now? For the most part, the commissioners get it right. Okay, they're doing what they can do, but they're human, just like everybody else, and they make errors. And it is the right of us, we the people, the electors, the voters, to exercise our First Amendment rights to inform them of their errors. We have to make sure they're doing what is right for the citizens of the county, and if there's something that they're not doing right, then it should be pointed out to them. We can't allow bad things to happen, and by these people in the group, it's not dissension on their part. They're concerned about what's going on, and so they are trying to make things right. So again, I go back to the mayor's comment. Firm and unwavering support. Again, while she made this comment, it's very vague and generalized with many undertones. I knew who she was talking about, and she's talking about that group that I've heard from others. I find it very concerning that any individual would have issues with other citizens that are fighting for their rights and also wanting people to uphold the laws within the county. These people are not fighting for the rights of one town. They're fighting for the rights of the whole county. And I guess some people, like the mayor and the potential 100+ signatures, they have an issue with that. And I can't fathom that. Why would you have an issue with people standing up for your rights? And then the comment, there's a difference between dissent and childish interruptions. One persuades, the other just makes a scene. Again, what part of holding lawbreakers accountable for taking away our rights is dissent or childish interruptions? That comment is again very concerning. And then the squeaky wheel has received more of its share of attention. If we do not hold our representatives accountable for their unlawful actions, then this county is doomed. Attention to these matters. Again, the commissioners are human. They make mistakes. Sometimes they have an agenda and they do things that they want to do. And that's why the people need to point this stuff out and make these issues front and center. We all have laws to follow in this county, in this state. Why do county commissioners get a pass? I'll go ahead and say it. I'll remind you. Four county commissioners broke state law in various ways, and they have not been held accountable. Commissioner Newharth is on the record. He admitted he's fully aware. He admitted that he broke the law when they rejected the petitions of the citizens, of which there were over 240 verified signatures on that document. And so there's people out there that have told me, well, you know, if they broke the law, then how come nobody's holding them accountable? That's a good question. That's a really good question. Well, the only thing I can tell you, after letters that I've sent and from what we've seen over the last 2 years, is that the AG's office is corrupt. The governor's staff are corrupt. Not saying all of them. I would almost bet that the Attorney General himself or the governor himself is not aware of what's going on. And if they are, then shame on them for not doing anything about it. And then our state's attorneys are corrupt. That's why. That's why no one's being held accountable. For 5 years, people in this county, people in the state, have been seeking justice for the law breaking that's been going on. And even the judges are all in on this. They're corrupt as well. Finally, let me get back to the unwavering support comment. Because I think this one to me is the most troubling. So let me get this straight. The mayor of Eureka and potentially 100 or more other individuals have no problem with a commissioner calling a constituent that's not even in their district to verbally abuse them over the phone. And if the commissioner cannot get a hold of that individual, has the audacity to call that individual's child or children to find out where the individual is at. The individual is Jody Waltman. I can guarantee you that if Carla received a call like that, and that stunt was pulled on her, there would be an immediate phone call placed to Mr. Newhart or anybody else for that matter, or I would be visiting their home and we'd have a sit-down discussion. If there are men of the 100 plus that the mayor is talking about, if there's any men that signed this that said you have unwavering support for the commissioners, and these men think that this was okay for the Commissioner Newhart to do this, then I think those men need to hand in their man cards. If you think that doing what Mr. Newhart did to any woman is okay, and you're providing your unwavering support, that in itself is another issue. That's a problem. Anyway, this is all I wanted to point out. Again, I will be sending this video to the mayor. I hope her and the others do reach out to me, because I want to make sure that I'm aware of what their issues are. I want to make sure that they're not misinforming the citizens, her citizens, the citizens of Eureka, and we'll let this play out and see what happens. Have a good one, McPherson County.